Hello, welcome back. What was the point that I was trying to make? You have to have a purpose. You have to know what you're walking in. You have to know where to go and what to do in order to get to where you're trying to go. And you need to know what to say when you get in them rooms. Because I knew what I was called to, I knew where to go. I knew how to walk. When I was in the environment that I knew where to thrive, I would give advice, get advice, and be able to avoid certain situations and opportunities. Got a person that ended up offering me an opportunity one time and was able to turn them down because that person offered me the opportunity but didn't understand because they met me sitting in a library. I went to one of them business events and got some advice on the very opportunity I was offered. Came back to the person by that next Monday, and that person hung up the phone and didn't call me back because when I told them the parameters that I had now gained wisdom of after going into that business event, that person knew they wasn't playing with a dummy, and they ran quickly away from me. Because one thing I don't like is being played. I'm smarter than I look. If you haven't figured that out by now. Some of y'all could be smarter than you look too. But you got to go in the direction that God's calling you to. You have to be birthed through your own birthing process. And I was doing a lot of that type of stuff before I was really walking with God heavy. That was early in my walk with God. God actually pulled me away from that for a season because he had to cultivate my character because he was calling me to bigger things and bigger places. Is he calling you to bigger things and bigger places? But because you're avoiding understanding who you are, you still playing in the low life places with the chickens. Is he calling you to stand up in the fullness of the glory of who you are for the understanding of what you're supposed to be doing? But you don't know what that is. You don't understand who you are and how to change the parts of yourself needed and necessary in order to walk in it fully to the capacity that you're called to walk in. Because you still out here running with the chickens because that's your homeboy and your homegirl and you want to hang around them. Growth requires separation. It requires identification of the bad traits. And it requires an identification of what it is that you need to do in order to walk with the good ones. But I don't think you would be sitting on a ministry page if you didn't recognize that you were supposed to improve yourself. You got to improve you in order to walk in who you're supposed to be. But you got to identify who that is before you can identify the man that's supposed to walk next to you in doing it. And vice versa to the men. Because if you don't know who you are, that woman can't walk with you either. Because she can't guide you and lead you in the element of giving you proper advice and strategy to operate if you ain't got a place for her to be telling you where that strategy is supposed to go. And it's funny, a quote just popped up from my Bible app saying, even so, I rely on the Lord. Yeah, always rely on the Lord. Consistently walk in his way, his purpose, and his statutes. But once you start walking with God, he's going to give you a purpose. Because you can't be walking on this earth and not have a purpose. Ruth was gleaning in the field. A man had purpose. People don't recognize that stuff was being left for her in the field on purpose. Catch it. Purpose. She was in her purpose, on her purpose, working in her purpose. What are you doing? Everybody hears, ooh, Ruth was gleaning in the field and Boaz found her. What's your field? Do you have one? Do you know what it is? But first, do you know who you are in order to explain in an elevator pitch to the man that you're supposed to be walking with what you're supposed to be doing? Oh, let's figure that out. Let's figure out what your purpose is so you can create your presence in that purpose so you can understand who you are, develop that purpose, and walk in it and promote that purpose by understanding your personal identity and then how to walk in that purpose. And then you're going to look up and this husband going to be right there and you're going to be like, hey, boo, how you doing? Because he was looking at you the whole time. Because he then recognized, oh, hold up. That's my rib over there. That's my rib over there. So what your purpose is? Do you know what it is? Maybe you was walking in it before, but you didn't understand because you was walking around with chickens. And God said, I need you to come up higher. I need you to sit in my presence. And I need you to understand what my presence looks like. And in understanding what my presence looks like, I can bring you that partner that you're looking for. But you got to come up high. You got to come up here. Every level of elevation and every element of where you're supposed to be going, you're going to have to seek God for that. This book called Make God Your CEO. Go look at it. Go read it. It's an audiobook. Get off Audible. You'll be good. Determine who that is so you can learn how to walk in it. Walk with God. But first you got to sit with God and understand the harmony of God in order to walk under God, in order to build out with God, in order to create the business and the career with God, and then that marriage with God. But you got to focus on God first, purpose second, husband third. Some of y'all putting husband first, forgetting about God, want to leave God because husband's not there. You all out of order. And operating in Christian witchcraft, that ain't going to do you no good. Oh, there's such a thing. Yes. That's called praying your will on a man of God. That God didn't tell you that was your man anyway. Don't be preying on a man. I need you to pray for a man. And not for any man, your man. Because y'all sitting up here running around with Mr. Right Now. And y'all looking at Mr. Right Now trying to make him Mr. Forever. And vice versa for my men. Because you sitting up there haven't figured out who you are and trying to turn Mr. Right Now into Mr. Forever, but you don't know who you are. And this is how people end up needing to divorce somebody because you was married to Mr. Right Now. You wasn't supposed to marry him. And it wasn't until your husband matured and figured out, I need to stop chasing after Mrs. Right Now and actually chase after the woman that's going to be able to rear my kids and teach them something. From the heart of God. He can't find you until he's walking with him. And you need to be hidden in God before he should be able to find you. See how that is? See how that works? So I'm going to need you to get on that purpose part so you can start moving towards that husband you say that you want. So, am I making sense? If I'm making sense, I'm going to need you to go to Kingdom Creator Connect Collective and start looking into some of those factors. There's some videos over there that's going to help you out just a little bit. Something else I got, but I'm hush on that. Okay? At least for right now. Until next time, I hope this blessed you. Bye-bye.